Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the industry stage at our Pitch Next event at the Formnext 2024. If you just joined us, you missed a lot, but there's a lot to come. Because now it's time for the finalists of the Startup and Rookie Award section to present their forward-thinking ideas. Please have in mind, these startups have gone through rigorous selection rounds and are now here to showcase the future of additive manufacturing. And please remember, it's now your turn to vote for the startup, so please do not forget to visit our voting platform. 3D printing with polymers, that's a technology with enormous potential. Supernova Additive is going one step further and tries to revolutionize the industry with a very innovative approach. And I tell you what, before I explain it to you, which would be not the best way to do it, I will ask Roger Antunes, who is here today, to the stage and explain us what their solution is and how they revolutionize the industry. Thank you so much. Roger, stage is yours.
Thanks so much. So I'm Roger. I'm the founder and the CEO at Supernova. Before this, I served as the general manager of an FDM company, BCN 3D, where we sold tens of thousands of 3D printers, and we managed to survive bamboo. It's a segment in which we did a lot of product development, but not a lot of technology development. Quite different from Supernova. Here we are doing deep technology development. We are enabling the manufacturing of parts that matter to the world through material processing technologies, innovating in that field and in chemistry especially. We have a dual-use technology. So here you can see the two business units that we are operating. In one side, we have the polymers business units, which we are representing with an EV charger in the efforts that we are doing in the transportation vertical that we are supporting. Here, we do things like cable grommets, we do connectors, we do trims, we do housings, we do runs that are currently impossible in injection molding and in extrusion, and we are making them possible with a technology that I will later explain. Apart from that, the same core technology has been applied in the field of defense. You are seeing the Iron Dome of Tel Aviv, which is an anti-missile system that it's based essentially in solid rocket motors. Solid rocket motors have propulsion systems that we are pioneering the 3D printing of. We are the only company in the world that is capable of doing this kind of technologies. So if we first talk about our polymers business, what we have seen here in Formnext is tens of companies, hundreds of companies that are saying that they are doing production at scale. But we do believe that customers, they are not being able to solve their actual problems. Runs below 50,000 parts, extrusion runs below 10 kilometers, they are not being manufactured in 3D printing at all. There are niches that are done in 3D printing, but not the general ones. And that happens because the material properties that additive manufacturing is offering are not enough. You need to hit each and every property of the materials, and that's what we are enabling through our technology. We have developed viscogels that are photopolymers that have up to 100% of oligomer load. We have a minimum of 80%, while other photopolymer technologies just have a 20%. With that, we hit properties that are extremely higher, and happens with viscosity levels that, in our case, are 500 times higher than other photopolymer systems. On the other side, defense-wise, we are even able to process up to 88% of solid load military-grade energetic materials for applications like solid rocket motors, explosives, or bullet grains. We have done all this in a period of just 11 months. We have been producing more than $1 million in revenues in this short period of time, and we are inviting everyone to come to our booth in Hall 12.1, where we have all the technology in polymers that we have been presenting during last week.
Big applause, Roger. Fantastic presentation. with just one slide, basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So any questions from the audience here that I might ask to Roger? I do have, of course, a question. Roger, you mentioned the two examples, basically, where you're already in, and you mentioned the amazing revenues you're already doing. So can you give us one or two more practical business cases you're currently working on and more, let's say, applications?
Yeah, let me give you an example, for instance, of elastomeric materials. We can do ceilings and gaskets that have each and every property of EPDM, that it's a rubber that it's more common in automotive, in railway, and in other applications. So in that case, we can do runs of up to 50,000 parts that get an 80% of cost reduction for customers. Another very big one is that we are capable of doing 2K parts instead of over molding. So in those ways, the case even goes up further to 2,100 units.
So you're already in the industrialization, kind of?
Yeah. So our customers in connectors, they are producing millions of parts per year. Yeah.
So very good. So you mentioned...
Our technology is going to be commercially available next year, but we have a beta program, and customers, they already have access to our materials and to our machines, and we are producing batches in all of these cases.
Very good. So you're actually already working with your customers on the final program, but you it can be sold commercially next year. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Well, it was a fantastic presentation. Good luck.
So
sounds promising. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Big applause, ladies and gentlemen. The funny thing is, in between these moderation sessions, we from time to time have conference calls where we talk about what is needed in the industry and what needs to be discussed here at Formnext, where do we find partners for this and that. And one thing that always pops up is the topic of need of data, the quality of data, how to get the data, how to use the data. And there are companies that deal exactly with that topic. And one of the companies we are going to hear next, and this is a company, AM Site. They want to support the industry in this data topic with their solution, and you can get valuable insights into your production. You can improve efficiency, and you can make data-driven decisions, and that's what data is all about. And I'm super excited to welcome him here on stage because I know him already, and I can tell you it will be an interesting presentation. Please welcome with me on stage Tim Bishop from AM Site. Please, Tim, enjoy.
When was the last time you had a key moment in your life? One that had a significant impact on your further life? For me, that was about 4 years ago. I was head of the department at Fraunhofer IAPT at that time, and a company approached us, medium-sized company operating in the medical field, and they had 10 metal AM systems producing implants in serial production. However, they had a big problem with the quality of the parts they manufactured. They had a scrap rate of over 15%. They already tried to solve the problem for months, and it costed them over 200,000 euros. It was a nightmare for them. The strange thing here was that the scrap occurred on really unsystematic ways. So basically on all the 10 metal AM systems from time to time. So a lot of good builds, then one bad build, the next builds would be good again. So a lot of the things that you would suspect, such as maybe powder degradation or environmental conditions or malfunction of the machine, you could exclude because they would have shown a different behavior. As a scientist by background, such problems excite me. When it's a complex problem, there's no obvious answer to it. And as a scientist, I also like to take a scientific, in this case, data-driven approach. The good thing about this case was, in the medical industry, you are forced to document everything in really high detail. So there was a lot of data available for us. However, this data wasn't connected. Basically, a lot of Excel sheets. One for powder, one for the machines, one for post-processing. So maybe a situation one or two are familiar with. So to be able to analyze the data, we needed to connect them, to bring them into one system. That took us about 2 weeks. And now the amazing thing is, once we did that, finding the problem was an issue of minutes. In the data, we saw a high correlation between the downtime of the machine and the scrap rate. The systems they used, they stopped flooding the build chamber once the build jobs were done. So when there was a long downtime, humidity could get inside the machine and deteriorate the quality of the next build. My key moment here was, it was really the first time I truly and fully understood the power and the value of data. And we ask ourselves, if you can so much value within minutes, that costed the company already 200,000 euros, there has to be a tool out there to recreate such insights over and over again. However, we didn't find any software tool, which is why we founded Emsight, provide you with the right software to do exactly that, unlock the power of data in research and development as well as in production to optimize costs and quality. And how do we do that? We automatically collect quality relevant data along the whole 3D printing process chain by reading out relevant information from log files, PDFs directly from the machine and store them in one central database, our digital twin. So you can go to every build, to every part that you manufactured, with all the relevant information from powder to final part there. And with our built-in analytics, you can now utilize this data to optimize your processes in terms of cost or quality. If you're a more advanced user, you can also use our built-in developer suite to create your own code. So if you have the feeling that you're not fully leveraging the power of the data that you are creating in your daily business, I would like to invite you to our booth in Hall 12, and let's discuss how we can do that together. Thank you very much.
Big applause, Tim. Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
In time. Awesome presentation. Any questions from the audience here? Don't be shy, okay? Then I'll ask a question, Tim.
Yeah.
You mentioned the case of the root cause analysis, which I love, to be honest, because I'm doing a lot of lean management, so this would head into that direction. But if I have all the data gathered, what else can I do with it? Are you planning on supporting and creating new parts or optimized parts or optimized processes? Could that be a direction for Emsight?
In case, what we can do with the data is so manifold, right? And the use cases we have with the customer so far is really, really different. So one has a problem with the quality, wants to optimize the quality. The next one, he wants to improve his productivity to save costs in the end. In SLS, it could be optimizing the refreshing rate of the powder to say it's the biggest cost factor in SLS production. And all the things. Doing that based on data gives you a huge competitive edge and not like just based on a feeling, okay, I can tune this parameter maybe a little bit more or a little bit less. Do it really based on data gives you, from my point, a real competitive edge. But
just to get the functionality right, I put, let's say we collect data from the whole process, we put it in your system, so I get a good overview, and then I need to do the analysis myself, or is the system helping me? Pointing out the crucial points.
Yeah. So at the moment it's semi-automatic. So the system provides you with insights. Obviously the vision is that it's completely automated, running in the background, so that there's no manual work any necessary on the software provides to that. We're not there yet, working on it, but maybe next year.
Very good. Tim Bischoff, big applause for Emsight. Great presentation. Thanks so much. Good luck for the fair. Okay? Thanks. See you. Bye-bye. Super interesting topic coming up, and I like it very much because we always talk about decentralized production, having the parts where we need them. This is a big topic, and the industry we are talking about is aviation, and you can imagine the regulation, the restrictions are even higher, but even more crucial to have the parts in place once you need them. And I hope I got the point correctly, but the next company called AM Craft, they want to ensure that essential components are always available when needed. And I will tell you, all of us will challenge them for this point. And I'm happy to welcome you on stage. AM Craft, please, big applause. Scott, enjoy.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Sevchik, and I'm here to talk about how AM Craft is addressing a nightmare scenario in the aviation supply chain. Commercial aircraft fly around the clock for on average about 30 years. And every 2 to 3 months, they go through maintenance. Every 5 to 7 years, they go through a complete overhaul. And this generates almost $100 billion a year in aviation spare parts. A lot of that goes towards engines, electronic systems, but almost $30 billion goes to the plastic pieces that you're surrounded in when you're sitting in that aircraft cabin. And these low volume, high mix plastic parts are a huge problem in the industry right now. Because they were designed, manufactured 10, 15, 20 years ago. The original equipment manufacturer may not exist. And if they do, they're probably more focused on their immediate large projects rather than dealing with the long tail of supporting these legacy products. As a result, they have to go, the airlines are left to go scrounge for parts with part distributors, or they have to get something new designed. And that's not easy because there are 2 levels of certification for airworthiness to get a new part on an aircraft. So this is where AMCraft comes in. We have expertise in additive manufacturing. We have expertise in airworthiness certification. We bring those 2 pieces together to address this problem. When there is an issue where an airline needs a new part, we go in, we design an entirely new part, a part for additive, a part better than the part that they can't even get anymore. We then have that part certified. We take it end to end through the process. The end customer doesn't have to deal with it at all. And then we produce that part at a local manufacturing facility in the closest aviation hub. Now here's the fun part for us. We're supporting a customer in the way they want to be supported. They're ordering from a part list, we're delivering a part, dealing with everything. But in doing that, we're creating our parts list. We're building up a catalog of parts that we can then take to other airlines who have the exact same problem and deliver them that part. We can bundle those parts together into these larger retrofit programs, these refurbishment programs. And this has already started, we can work with those OEMs who don't have the time to deal with their legacy parts and help them address the problem proactively. So there's a new aspect in that we have brought 3D printing and the focus on the cabin interior, but the reality is this model is already in place in the industry. There is companies like HEICO, $27 billion market cap, TransDigm, $75 billion market cap, operating in the same MRO model, but with some of the other systems, not with the cabin interior components. So we know there's an opportunity here, and we ask ourselves, can we do it? Can we deliver? We already are. Today, we have a catalog of dozens upon dozens of parts already that we can deliver to multiple airlines. We have achieved the EASA Production Organization Approval certification that allows us to deliver parts with airworthiness certificate. That part can go directly onto the aircraft. We've proven we can extend that model to partners around the world. We're already producing in Riga, Latvia, Dubai, and in Singapore, and within months we'll be producing as well in Germany and within the US. We have more than 30,000 parts flying today, and we have built relationships with airlines that are helping us get more proactive, showing us where the problems are so that we can deliver on them now. We are currently raising funds, which we'd be happy to talk with you about separately. I'll be speaking in more depth tomorrow on the application stage at 10 a.m. and certainly more than happy to take a question if you have one now.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Big applause for Scott, ladies and gentlemen. Very good topic. So you're focusing mainly on cabin parts, as far
Absolutely.
as I understood. How difficult was it to get into the whole certification process? Because as far as I know, this is the dream of every airline, what you just presented.
Yeah.
How far are we? How many parts? What ratio are we talking about?
So we have delivered about 30,000 parts. From my history, I was actually at Stratasys a few years ago before coming to AMCraft. From that perspective, I know a little bit more about where the OEMs are as well. But what we've seen is this interest from the airlines just exploding. Because in the past, 3D printing has delivered either a system, go ahead, go manufacture it yourself, or a build-to-print part. But these customers don't design their parts, they don't manufacture their parts, they buy off a parts list.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we feel that by going after the certification, which did take a couple of years, by going and doing that hard work, we can treat the end user in the way they want to be treated. They can buy off a parts list just like they used to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott. I need to take care of the time, so I need to...
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Scott, please. AMCraft, ladies and gentlemen. getting to the next exciting company. And you know what I really like in additive manufacturing? If you have companies, they really design their company names by the product or solution they offer. This seems very common, but they are quite creative in my opinion. So the next company is called Microfactory, and they got to the point where they put a whole process, as far as understood, in one machine. So it's a stackable printer system where you got the whole process inside one system, and this has several advantages. And I'm super happy to welcome Maximilian Strasser here on stage, who will explain what these advantages are and how they create this solution. Maximilian, I'm super keen to hear a presentation. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, welcome. My name is Max and I'm the CEO of Microfactory. And I have a question. What would you say if injection molding needs an operator after every produced part? Would it be a mass production process? Probably not. Why should it be different in additive manufacturing? And in our case, much more worse, because we are working with photopolymers or resin-based 3D printing. So we have a multi-stage printing process. We are working with toxic materials, and we need a lot of mandatory parts over the process. There's no reliability over the process with sensor data, and there's no easy automation. That is the reason why we built up the Microfactory. We built a machine which combines all the necessary process steps in one machine. So printing, cleaning, and curing, and part ejection in the end. But not just this. We thought about the whole process. So how I get my data inside of the machine, how I get my material inside of the machine, and what actually happened with my printed parts after the process. In the same time, we built a system which is enclosing the whole process in one machine, so we are able to track everything what's happened inside of the machine, like temperature fluctuation or everything else. So in the end, we built a machine which has a closed-loop sensor system inside, which is every time collecting new data, improving on these data, and doing the process over time better. In the same time, we are open for every material. So if maybe a material scientist is in here, we are open for every 405 nanometer material on the market. And our system is easy scalable, because you can actually stack up these machines over each other. So you can be on the same footprint going up to 3 machines. All of this enables us for 2 really, really important markets currently. And this is the medical markets for dental and audio. Because the problem is here with resin-based 3D printing, every process step must be perfect to actually achieve the final parts. And this is not possible if you still have a manual work between every process step, because you lose the traceability over every process steps. So this is the reason why we can give inside of these markets totally traceability and a data log for every printed part after printing. So maybe shortly for income revenue streams, because I see a couple of VCs here as well. So we are selling the machine, but we are open for leasing our model as well. Our hardware is, I think, really cool and really good, but you need a combination of hardware and software. So we built our own software solution for our system. So we have some advanced functions there as well. We have service, and we are working with all the materials corporates together to bring the materials to our machine. Where we are today, we are already selling machine. We are certificated. We have our first pilot customers, and I want to give a small story because I think that showcases the need of our machine. We was on Millhouse, it's a corporate close to Munich, for a pilot week, just to showcase our machine. And after the week, he bought the machine and told us he want to scale up to 9 machines next year, and I think that shows the future of us. So we are still in our funding round. We are looking for new customers, new VCs, and for new employers who want to join our team. So thank you very much, and I'm open for a couple of questions.
So big applause. First of all, Max, engaging. Let's put it that way. Well, that was engaging. So any applications already ready from the potential employees? Very good. Yes. Thank you so much.
Very much.
So you talked about 2 industries, yes. Pilots that have already started. So who's in the biggest need? What is the best customer you can imagine that gives you like
That's a good question. So,
in order for 100 machines?
So I think there are two sides. So there are share side. So we are going into the praxis and we are delivering one machine. And there are the big laboratories who want to scale up with us to 9 machines like Millhouse. So we are really focusing on the bigger laboratories because it's much easier as a young corporate to actually getting into service and maintenance with one customers. At IDS next year we will show some stuff. And on the long run, we want to go into share side as well because that is actually the biggest market. Would be cool as a patient to be there and get my, for example, Crohn after I leave the laboratory. So
very good.
Yes.
So fantastic presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you
good
very
luck
much.
for finding VCs, employees, and partners. So there's a lot of work to do. Good luck for you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Microfactory, ladies and gentlemen. The next company has a name, I hope I pronounce it correctly, but I tell you the topic is even more exciting. It's bioprinting. You're already here. Come, get close to me for the introduction. So bioprinting, exciting area in additive manufacturing because it might solve some of the really large problems and issues we have. So it's about printing tissues and organs, basically, right? Yeah. I can tell you, as you already know, I'm very much into healthcare and things to do with our health. So I'm super interested in your presentation. Give a big applause for Axolotl.
Axolotl Biosciences.
Axolotl Bioprints. Yeah. Good luck. Steffi.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks to Formnext for having us here. My name is Dr. Stephanie Willerth, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Axolotl Biosciences. Axolotl is an award-winning biotechnology startup company that spun out of my internationally recognized research group at the University of Victoria. And what we do is make bioinks for 3D printing human tissue models for drug discovery. So probably a lot of you are familiar with traditional 3D printing. It's where you heat up a polymer and then it gets extruded into your pattern based on a CAD design. So we do something similar, except your bioinks have to be specially formulated to keep human cells alive and functioning to replicate these functions you'd see in tissues in the human body. So why do we want to print human tissues? In our case, we have a big emphasis on printing neural tissues such as those found in the brain. And this is because the current processes for identifying drugs to treat diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are really inefficient. It can cost over $1 billion and take 16 years to get a drug into humans where it has an 88% chance of failing. And this is because we're normally testing these drugs in, like you can see here, animals like mice and rats, and they don't really accurately have the same physiology that humans have. And in fact, that's one of the advantages of using our 3D bioprinted tissue models is you can actually use human stem cells that can become any cell type in the body to print essentially any type of tissue you want. And so our idea was to use these tissues along with our novel bioink, which is what Axolotl sells, to make these human tissue models. The global 3D bioprinting market is estimated to reach $3.8 billion by 2026, and this has been bolstered by recent deals done by companies like Aspect Biosystems, who signed a $1 billion deal with Novo Nordisk last year. There's a high compound annual rate of growth of 18.2%, and the target market currently includes North America, Europe, and Asia. Right now, the key customers that we sell to include academic researchers as well as pharmaceutical companies. One of the things that sets Axolotl apart from other companies in this space is that we actually focus specifically on making these inks for printing the human tissue models with high levels of performance. We don't actually focus on selling the printers. And you can see here in the corner, you can see some of our bioprinted brain tissues, which replicate the electrical and chemical signals that you find in the human brain. As I mentioned, one of the big performance advantages of our bioink is being able to print these really delicate stem cells with high levels of cell viability as well as function. And in fact, our initial publication about our bioink was selected as one of the methods of the year by ACS Biomaterials Science and Engineering. We've been selling tissue prints since 2022, and we have a strong product development pipeline to make other tissue-specific inks. Our team includes myself. I've been a professor for 14 years, and I'm a fellow of the International Society of Biomaterials and Engineering, and I've published over 100 peer-reviewed papers and raised over $6 million to help fund the research that led to Axolotl's formation. My co-founder, Laura, was the graduate student who did a lot of the development work for both tissue print and brain print bioinks, and you can see the rest of our experienced team here, who helps deliver Axolotl products to our customers. We're currently looking to raise money on a SAFE to enable us to move off campus and catalyze the research and development of our second product, BrainPrint, a specific ink for printing human brain tissue, as well as our third product, HeartPrint, which is a bioink for printing cardiac tissues, as cardiac toxicity is a huge issue in the drug discovery field. With that, thanks everyone for listening. Feel free to reach out. We're looking for investment. We're looking for potential partners, as well as collaborators. And thanks again.
Steffi, thank you so much. There's just one question, if I can ask that. I mean, you have been a professor, you have been doing research a lot. It's a project that will help others in the future. And at the same time, you have the topic that you are a startup and you need money and you want to make money. So what is driving you in that topic?
Yeah, so I think one of the really interesting things, I know in my life, I've had several relatives who've had Alzheimer's, and so the fact that we can actually take a patient's own stem cells, and we do this with one of our doctors, patients suffering from Alzheimer's, we can actually print their tissues, and you see the Alzheimer's symptoms in a dish, and we can drug screen on them, and then potentially prescribe, if we find a drug that works, that back to the patient who's suffering from the disease.
That's awesome.
And so I think that that's like really the definition of personalized medicine, and one of the coolest things we can do with our tech.
That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Big applause for Stephanie.
Thank you, guys.
We are switching over now to the new Rookie Awards section, and there are a few amazing startups to come. The first one is a startup that tackles a topic where you probably are affected yourself and hope for innovative solution. We are talking about innovative dental solutions, and Finalisten, they deal with that, and I personally hope very much that they optimize an elementary part of our care with this solution. So welcome with me on stage, Max Horn. Max, stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. And first of all, I hope you don't need the dentures, but just in case, we might have a solution in a couple of years from now. So my name is Max, I'm CEO of Finalisten. We make the highest quality dentures accessible to everyone. Do you know what makes Germany the global stronghold of dentistry? It's our dental technicians. Over the last 60 to 70 years, roughly, they developed the highest quality prosthesis for all types of care solutions and also very complex production processes, unfortunately. And the German crown is their flagship. It is the gold standard of dentures. It is produced roughly 300,000 times every year in Germany and shipped around the globe. Unfortunately, it's very complex to make. It consists of different materials, including gold, and the production process for the multi-material dentures is still manual. So it follows a complex, expensive, fickle production process for all of these large numbers of dentures. Unfortunately, thanks to the aging society, demographic change, and the declining number of dental technicians, we are losing the skill to produce these dentures. So we will face a huge supply gap within the next couple of years because demand goes up, supply goes down, unfortunately. That's why we at Finalisten have developed a fully automated, digitized, multi-material additive manufacturing solution to produce these dentures. We have customized, as you can see in the video, an off-the-shelf machine and the entire production process around it. We added a robotic arm that applies the gold just where it is needed. And thanks to our digital process chain, we can also automatically post-process and mill the dentures to secure the optimum fit in the patient's mouth. In this way, we can offer a scalable end-to-end B2B solution for dental laboratories at 20 times faster production rates at only 40% of the current price. So it's minus 60% compared to conventional manufacturing. Our team, the 4 founders, we have more than 20 years of experience in additive manufacturing, ranging from the startup space over big industry to top management consulting. Earlier this year, we received 1.6 million euros in funding. We used it to set up our first fully operational system. We are currently qualifying the process, and we will deliver the first patient cases earlier next year. With this, we then go into the next round of fundraising to hopefully set up a serious production for early 2026. So, if you also have teeth, maybe, hopefully not, but just maybe, you'd be keen to have this solution in the near future. Please give us your vote and join our journey on digitizing manufacturing in the dental industry. Thank you very much.
Awesome. What a call to action at the very end, Max. Awesome. I'm unfortunately a very heavy customer already, so I'd rather the replacement, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit the time frame. When, as an end customer, the ones that is using your solution, can I expect to be supplied by you?
Well, we will deliver the first patient cases around the Easter holidays next year, Project Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
We need this for the qualification process and then set up our own plant for serious production. Hopefully we can acquire the necessary funding and then start serious production early 2026. So if everything goes to plan, January 26.
Okay, I try to take care of my teeth until then.
Please do.
Max, thank you so much. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Max Horn, ladies and gentlemen. The next startup deals with a topic that could be not more important, to be honest. It also comes from the health sector. And here, honestly, additive manufacturing is not only changing any supply chain or optimize the solution, it's about creating a better chance for a better life or even surviving. So this is where I'm very excited to hear the solution from Oryx Medicals. And presenting to us is Lea Strauss. Lea, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi together. I think based on the current data, all of us know at least one person who struggles with a heart disease. So the most common and severe heart valve condition is aortic valve stenosis. This occurs when the aortic valve is not able to open or close properly anymore. And therefore, patients suffer from symptoms like chest pain or, for example, dizziness. Without proper treatment, this results in an average survival rate of just approximately 4 years. So treatment is not an option, it really is life-saving. And the life-saving therapy is replacing the damaged aortic valve. This can be replaced using an open heart surgery or the TAVI procedure. The open heart surgery involves opening the chest, stopping the heart, and putting the human body to a heart-lung machine. As you can expect, this is really invasive and therefore not suitable, especially for elderly people. The other option is the TAVI procedure. This is much safer and minimally invasive. And it works like this. You can get the implant through the brain using a catheter. On the other hand, we have two different options for treating the heart valves. First, we can use the biological valves. They can be implanted using TAVI technology, and they show good biocompatible behavior. But the lifespan is limited to approximately 10 years. This means that especially younger patients need to get a reoperation. Then, on the other hand, the mechanical valves show exceptional lifespan. The biggest problem is that it can only be implanted using the open heart surgery, and the biocompatibility is not comparable. And what is missing by now is an implant that can be implanted using minimally invasive and shows high durability. And this is where we at Oryx Medical step in. We develop a new kind of heart valve that will be implanted using minimally invasive and shows a long lifespan. This will be created using a polymeric additively manufactured heart valve. Using the biocompatible polymeric material, we can use a compact design and therefore make it able to be implanted through TAVI. Additive manufacturing technology enables us to create patient-specific designs, and therefore we can improve wound healing. On the other hand, we can reduce hospitality rates and infection rates. Looking at some numbers, as you can see, we will we plan to launch our product in 2032. And by this time, it is expected that worldwide, more than 90,000 patients will get a new heart valve each year. And in Germany, it's 12,000 every year. Our team consists of different expertise. We are experts in the field of additive manufacturing, medicine, structural integrity, as well as business development. And together with you as experts or investors, we can bring this life-saving technology into reality. So let's reduce mortality rates together. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Big applause, Leah. Thank you so much. So, I mean, you need to have not only money, but also you need a strong will in order to achieve 2032. It's a long time. Is it due to certification, regulation, verification? Is that basically a thing?
Yes, definitely.
How far are we in the solution? Let's imagine we don't have regulation.
Yeah.
When can we have it?
We still need to perform, of course, the biological and the mechanical tests, and therefore we expect, let's say, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is the risk? I mean, at a certain point, you need to step into testing with human beings. How would you evaluate the risk today of your product in order with testing with humans? Is it already working a way that you would guarantee, let's try it?
Currently not.
Good to know.
Because we are really early stage, but we definitely need to perform biological tests or biocompatibility with our material, as well as the functionality, and therefore reduce the risk for mortality based on our implant itself.
But anyway, it was an awesome presentation, a very
Thank
good
you very
solution.
much.
I'm wishing you all the best for that.
Thank
you
you.
so much. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big applause, ladies and gentlemen. So we are coming now to our last startup in the Rookie Award section, and we are going back to teeth. Because as the name suggests, Enki Interdentalis, they focus on innovative oral hygiene solutions. And I'm super excited, without any further ado, to see what Julian Schwirzi has brought us. Julian, stage is yours.
Perfect. Nice. Thank you for the nice introduction. I want to come back to the dental industry and talk about flossing. Have you ever been told by your dentist, your teeth are great, but you have to floss more? Most of us know flossing is important. Flossing is important. But studies like this one show we are not doing it as often as we should. It's time-consuming, it's tedious, and it's quite easy to skip. However, the consequences of skipping can be quite severe. Insufficient flossing can lead to periodontitis, a gum disease affecting millions, especially elderly people. Besides the loss of teeth, this gum disease increases the risk of diabetes, stroke, and many other diseases. At Enki, we developed a solution that makes flossing quick, easy, and effective by using a mouthpiece and a water air compressor. The mouthpiece is customized with a nozzle specifically designed for every interdental space. In just 3 seconds, highly pressured water droplets cleans all the teeth, removing plaque and biofilm without any risk of injuries and any manual work. Talking about the production process of our solution, it starts with a quick scan of the patient's mouth at the dental's office. Then we take that scan to create a digital model of the mouthpiece. Using additive manufacturing, we will then print the model using medical-grade resin and finally deliver the product to our customer. Our solution is designed for all people with no teeth movement, essentially every person above 25 years. For our go-to-market strategy, we will focus on elderly people living in care homes, with the care homes as the main customer. For this customer, we provide an all-inclusive package, from scanning and production of the mouthpiece and the compressor, to caregiver trainings and regular maintenance of the equipment. Our team consists of Sophie, Gianna, and me, combining diverse background and skills. And right now we are looking for a fourth co-founder with skills in fluid mechanics and mechanical engineering who will focus on the product development. If you know someone, please let us know. In the next weeks and months, we will develop and test our prototype with our partners, the venture labs of the Technical University of Munich and the LMU Clinic. For this, we have a 4-step roadmap plan, including the validation of the microdroplet technology, refining the mouthpiece, selecting materials, and finally testing with pilot customers. If you're an engineer looking for an adventure or a hardware or material provider excited to transform dental care, please reach out to us. Join us in revolutionizing the way we floss in the future. Thank you.
Julian, awesome presentation. I just have one question.
Yeah.
Why it is important, or how important is it to individualize the mouthpiece? Because this is where additive manufacturing comes into place, right?
Yeah.
So why is it so important?
I mean, if it's not individualized, every teeth is quite individual, and you're not sure whether you're really hitting the right position, the right angle from the teeth.
Yeah.
And there might be the risk of gum injuries, that they're hitting the gum instead of the teeth.
Okay. And how much will it be? Like, let's say I want to buy this solution. Do we have already something in mind? What would be the consumer solution in the future?
That's the thing what we still have to figure out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But right now we are thinking about a price of 400 euros.
Very good. Awesome presentation. I'm really so much looking forward to the solution. So big applause for Enke Internetalis. Great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Pitch Next event here on the Formnext. But for you, of course, it's not over because of two things. First of all, you still need to vote. Don't forget to vote, because your voice is crucial in order to decide on the winners of the Formnext Awards that will be presented next Thursday afternoon at 4:20 p.m. Second point, why it's not over today, you will see and hear an exciting panel just starting in about 3.5 minutes about finance, funding and startups in total, with 4 excellent speakers and an excellent lineup. So don't miss it. Enjoy the highlights. See you in 4 minutes. Thank you so much.